Hi y'all, hi collective, how are y'all doing today? Today I'll be doing a reading for the collective, so this is for all signs, this is for no particular sign. I usually like to do a collective reading in between the cycles of the monthly readings just to break it up and do something fun. And also I feel like there's a lot of transits and planetary action that has been happening and is coming up for us in September and a little bit of October. So I thought it would be a good time to do a collective reading to, check into all of the energy that's happening planetarily. So yeah, so this is a collective reading, all signs, doesn't matter. And I just want to go over real quick some of the transits that we are going to see happening. So today is the 7th. I'm filming this on the 7th. So I believe Mercury is already in Libra and Leo is in Venus now. So with that, we're going to see a lot of increase in romantic action. Libra is very much a romantic planet. It's very light and airy. It's an air sign, but it's very much about like beauty and grace. It's ruled by Venus. It's ruled by the planet of love and beauty and all that stuff. So with Mercury in Libra, I think we're going to see a lot of people communicating a lot more romantically, diplomatically. Like Libra very much likes balance and peace and keeping the peace. So I think that if there's been tension that you've been experiencing, especially with the Mars retrograding in Aries, that is about to, it's a couple days, it'll go retrograde in Aries. But with that action, it's going to be a lot of like, negative kind of pent up energy and a lot of aggression, a lot of setbacks in moving forward with career and things like that. But with Mercury and Libra, I think we're going to see a lot more clear communication, a lot more balanced communication, a lot more harmonious communication, and really wanting to see the peace in things. Also with Venus in Leo, Venus is, as we know, the planet of love and beauty and all that. And with it in Leo, I think that we're going to see a lot more of people really showing their love, really doing a lot of grand romantic gestures. It doesn't even have to be romantic-wise. It can be platonic or familial, but we're going to see, you probably will see a lot of people come forward and really show you how they feel about you. Not just tell you, but show you how they feel about you. There may be some grand romantic gestures and, going all out, pulling all the stops. People really making a big deal to show you that they really care about you and that maybe that they have feelings for you. And with the Mercury in Libra and Venus in Leo, I think that if someone's been sitting on their feelings for you, they're probably going to come out and tell you about it and show you. Not just tell you, but show you. So that will be interesting. Later in the month, we have, I'm just checking my notes. Oh yeah, pretty soon we have Jupiter going direct in Capricorn. So Jupiter has been retrograding in Capricorn since May 14th. Yeah. So May 14th, which is so interesting because I was doing some reading up on that today, and I realized that the day after that, May 15th, when Jupiter was in retrograde in Capricorn, is the day that I quit my job. So it's quite interesting that Jupiter, the planet of expansion, I quit my job and decided to pursue this, amongst other things. So with Jupiter going direct again in Capricorn, I think we're going to see a lot more lifted energy. There's going to be a lot more movement forward. It'll feel like if you've been feeling stuck in the realm of really growing and expanding and learning and growing as a person, if you felt kind of set back and not really accessing that area of your life, I think you're going to start to see that. And because it's in Capricorn, we're going to see it in terms of work and money and discipline. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to anything that might have to do with your growth. I think we're going to see a lot more movement forward with that. And then Mars goes retrograde in Aries on the 9th, which is 2 days from now. So with that, I think we're going to see a lot of maybe setbacks in terms of movement forward, setbacks in, if we've been experiencing a lot of movement forward in work and desire and action, I think we might experience some setbacks in that. There might be some frustrations that we come into, but with the Libra Mercury, it should be pretty easy to conquer because going at it from a very air sign, communicative perspective, I think that we will be able to work through any of those issues that might come up. I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. Later in the month, we have a new moon in Virgo. But honestly, that full moon in Pisces, that was interesting. I don't know about y'all, but I was like, oh, I don't feel anything. I'll prepare for it. I'll do a moon ritual, whatever. And I was feeling good. And then I was like, you know what? I don't really feel anything. Like, I'm not feeling any big shift or change. And then I think it was a day or two after the Eastern Standard Time full moon. And then all of a sudden I felt it. All of a sudden, all these emotions and old things came up, and these feelings and realizations. I had a lot of clarity. I had a lot of clarity in terms of who I am and what I want. And it was beautiful to have those kind of moments where you have a lot of clarity and deeper understanding of yourself and your desires and your emotions, because we are talking about the moon. And with it in Pisces, it could have been a very spiritual experience, a very personal thing. Pisces is a lot about wrapping things up, because Pisces rules the 12th house. So if you experienced anything like that, it was probably the new moon that occurred on the 2nd, 3rd of September. So yeah, I just wanted to go over all those transits. I think it will be cool to do a transit check-in and an energy check-in in terms of the planets when I do these collective readings in between the monthly cycles. So I hope that those messages helped at all. I hope they resonate with you. I hope that gives you something to look out for, something to look forward to, some energies to check in on. But yeah, let's get into the reading now that we've covered all that. A lot of planetary action. I didn't even get to all of the things that are happening in September, but I think that's good to leave it at that for now. So, collective, how are we feeling? Yeah, so I switched it up, and I'm gonna start filming in this new space. I really like the lighting down here. I like the privacy down here. It's a lot more quiet, and I don't have to worry about people making noise in the other room. I have a lot of work to do down here. This room has kind of been like a storage room, been unused for a while, and I have a lot of work to do in terms of kind of renovating it and cleaning it. But I bought a new desk, and that's the first step, and I set it up in this little corner, and I at least made this little corner look nice. But I'll get there. So this is gonna be in my new like office and studio space, so it'll be good. It'll be a nice project to work on this fall. But anyway, let's get into it. New fresh spaces, Mercury and Libra. New feng shui, new spaces, renovating, decorating. It's very Libra. Good Libra stuff. All right, any messages for the collective? Ooh, 8 of Cups. Any messages for the collective? Any messages of love, truth, healing, light, clarity, hope, forgiveness, understanding, expression, oh God, romance, creativity, rearrangement, messages for the collective. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pull. I'll keep that though. I've been getting the King of Swords in my own personal readings lately. Messages for the collective. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay. Oh. Alright. This is interesting. Alright, collective. So, we have the Ace of Swords as the overall energy. Ace of Swords reverse. I'm sorry. Ace of Swords reverse is the overall energy. I feel like a lot of people are experiencing, even with that Pisces full moon, there may have been a lot of you that didn't experience that clarity that you wanted to, or that maybe you were anticipating. Maybe you did a lot of reading up on this Pisces full moon before it happened, and you were anticipating some grand change like I was. And you were expecting some kind of shift or realization of some sort, and you didn't really receive that. I think you're still in a place of mental fogginess. Maybe you're confused. Maybe you're feeling in a place where you're unable to make a decision of some kind. You're really not feeling mentally sharp. You're not feeling mentally able to make decisions or move forward or think clearly. Maybe you just don't feel in the right headspace right now. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll come back to it. And then we have the Eight of Cups, the King of Swords, the Hanged Man reversed, the Seven of Wands, the Eight of Swords reversed, and Death reversed. I'm gonna get a clarification for Death reversed, because that's always a big one. That was too many. Clarification for Death reversed for the collective. Clarification for Death reversed for the collective. Why is this happening? Clarification for the Death reversed for the collective. Okay. Alright. So with the Eight of Cups, I feel like there's a lot of people that are experiencing some sort of disappointment. Maybe that is the kind of clarity that the full moon has brought, but you're still like feeling like mentally not there, not 100% present, unable to move forward from something, unable to make a decision. And I think it's because you're experiencing some sort of disappointment, like you're still stuck on the past in some way. You're trying to move forward, but it's not going too well. You're trying to like move on from this disappointment or letdown that you've been experiencing, that you've been feeling. Yeah, it could be that you're just like deciding that in your heart, you know that you want to walk away from something, you know that you want to leave something behind and really move on from this, but the mental block you're experiencing is preventing you from doing so. I'm going to need a clarification for that one. What is it that collective is struggling to move on from? The Fool. Okay, so there could have been a situation where you jumped into something really quickly and you moved into it really quickly and you were really, really excited about it and it felt good and fresh and new and it gave you this youthful energy. It got you all excited, and maybe that opportunity or whatever it was just fell through in some way and you're just feeling the disappointment of it. You're feeling the weight of the letdown. It could have been that there was an Aries that you're dealing with. Yeah. There was some kind of setback or disappointment or letdown and you're struggling to move on from it because you had so much hope and optimism about it. There was a lot of like excitement and hope surrounding it and you were really looking forward to it and it just fell through in some way. I don't know, but this could have a lot to do with COVID. I know that there were a lot of plans and opportunities that people had for, you know, the spring and the summer and the coming months that fell through because of everything, you know. I think a lot of people were experiencing a lot of disappointments and letdowns and things that fell through. I'm getting like something fell through and you're really disappointed about it because you were just really excited about it. Yeah, and it really put you in a place where now you're feeling like the King of Swords and you're like, well, you know what? I'm really not into feeling like that and I don't want to feel like that and I don't want to get my feelings hurt and I don't want to get my hopes up again. So I'm going to go into the space of the King of Swords. I'm going to kind of guard myself up, be a lot more stoic, be a lot more calm, cool, collected on the surface, just to show that I'm not really emotionally here. I don't want to step into those feelings right now because it sucks and I don't want to feel them. And I'm just going to kind of put my guard up and really try to make smarter decisions and be more deliberate about the choices that I'm making so that I don't end up in that kind of situation again. Yeah, I think the King of Swords is kind of like a reaction to the disappointment. You're like, okay, well, I fucked up. Excuse my language. I swear all the time. Never mind. Don't excuse my language. I fucked up and I made a wrong move somewhere. There was a decision I made that turned me on a different path and it made this fall through. And just to avoid feeling that disappointment and the weight of that letdown, I'm just going to step into the King of Swords energy and I'm just gonna like maybe not feel that right now, maybe push those feelings aside, maybe come off to other people that you're fine and you got over it already, or that you don't really care. If this is about a connection, it's like you were really excited about a connection, you kind of jumped into it and you had a lot of hope and positivity and optimism about it, and because it fell through, you were just really disappointed and you're like, you know what, fuck that shit. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, like it fell through, but whatever, I'm moving on from it, or I am moved on from it. And you just want to appear to people that it didn't faze you as much as it did. And I think because you're trying to avoid the feelings in some way or cover it up in some way, I think that's why you're experiencing some kind of mental blockage. I think avoiding your true feelings about something and not letting yourself feel how you actually feel about it can really cause a lot of mental setback. It can make you feel like you're not able to move forward because you never fully process those feelings. When we push feelings aside, it really delays the process of healing. I just thought of this on the spot, but I like it. We have to be feeling in order to do the healing. I don't know, I kind of like how that sounds, like the rhyme of it. Like, we have to sit in our feelings in order to do the healing. Like, we really do. We can't just push these things aside and move on and get over it. Like, we have to feel the feels in order to process it and purge it, and we're able to move on. But because you're kind of covering it up and you're sitting in the King of Swords, like, maybe pretending and, like, giving off this idea to other people, like, I don't care, or telling yourself that you didn't care and it didn't matter as much to you as you thought it did, or you just don't want it to hurt, you don't want it to matter, you don't want to feel that disappointment. And because you're not really feeling it and letting yourself feel that disappointment, it's causing a lot of mental blockage, a lot of mental setback. It's like you can't fully release this and move forward and think really clearly about it. But with the Hangman reversed, I think it's like you're finally going to be starting to step into this energy of coming out of this period of stuckness. I think if this is something that you were really struggling to move on from, it's like you're trying to walk away, you're trying to leave it in the past and leave it behind you and let it go. You've been really struggling with that. I think you're finally releasing yourself from this period of stuckness. The Hangman is about feeling stuck and trapped, and you really want to release yourself from it. The Hangman reverse can really talk about really needing to see things from a new perspective. Maybe you just really have to look at it from a different angle to really try to understand it differently and understand that something good can come out of this. There's an opportunity that can come out of this. If you want to look at it again in the terms of like all the plans and opportunities that fell through for a lot of people with the events of this year, I think it's really important to look at things from a positive light, from a positive angle, because I think that there is so much, I don't want to say, despite all of the traumatic and devastating effects of everything that's happened this year, and before this, like a lot of things were horrible and events were horrible leading up to this that caused a lot of things that happened this year. I think that there are ways to look at things positively and look at things from different perspectives and try to gain something good out of it. I think that there is something good to be taken away from everything that happens. And I know that a lot of people don't like that saying, a lot of people don't like looking at things from that angle, but I think that it is the least you can do to try to heal from something or recover from something. Like maybe if you don't believe in that, sure, but will you ever really get over it and like, or are you just gonna keep looking at it negatively, like this shit sucked and it fucked everything up and I'm mad about it? Or you can, say, well, all these things happen and ABC, but down the line, this happened and it caused me to do this, and that was a good thing. There was a positive outcome right there that wouldn't have happened unless those, horrible ABCD things happened. So I think that looking at things from a different perspective is going to help you get yourself out of this mental blockage. Get yourself out of this period of not being able to move forward, not being able to move on. And I think it has a lot to do with releasing yourself, with the Hangman reverse, releasing yourself from trying to fight so hard to prove to everyone that, like, you're okay and you're fine and it doesn't bother you. Like, maybe this really fucking does bother you, and you gotta let yourself feel that. You gotta admit that to yourself. You don't have to fight so hard to just keep going on autopilot and keep working and not letting yourself feel those things, because you're never gonna heal if you don't work through those things so you can purge them, And I think that's also gonna release you from these negative thought patterns, these self-limiting thought patterns. The Eight of Swords reverse can talk about releasing yourself from these negative cycles. Maybe there's this negative cycle that you've been on, or just this negative thought pattern that you've been in where you've been telling yourself it doesn't matter, it doesn't bother me, and I feel nothing about this, or I feel fine, or, looking at this whole situation really negatively and failing to see that there is a positive here, that there is a silver lining. The Hangman reverse is very much like there's a silver lining. There's a silver lining here. You just have to look at things from a different perspective. And I think that's what's finally going to release you from these negative thought patterns. And that's going to bring you some clarity and some movement forward and some, unblocking of this mental blockage. I think you're going to be releasing yourself from these patterns of self-doubt and self-deprecation and self-limitation, where you're like, well, all these things happen and it's prevented me from doing all these things and it's caused all these problems for me and I can't do this, I can't because of all these outside circumstances. Okay, well, that may be the case, but there's so much that you can do with the resources and opportunities that are around you. There may have been a lot of negative things that have created a lot of negative results, but with that, there is a new set of resources and opportunities that we can use to our advantage. We just have to look at things from a different perspective, and we have to release ourselves from those self-limiting thought patterns that keep us from pursuing things that we really want to do and keep us from really moving forward. And with the death reverse, I see a lot of like back and forth. Like, okay, you're trying to move on, but you're telling yourself it doesn't matter, so who cares? You're trying to release yourself, but you're still fighting really hard. You want to release yourself from these patterns, but you're not letting the death come. You're resisting this ending. It's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I think that says a lot about the collective, where it's like we feel like shit one day and we feel on top of the world the next. We feel like so defeated one day and we feel victorious the next. We feel so angry at the state of the world and all of the shit that's going on one day, and then we feel like there's so much opportunity in this the next. It's like we've been going back and forth between being really pessimistic and being really hopeful and optimistic and opportunistic. And I think it's just like we're resisting some kind of ending in terms of the end of this cycle of not being able to move on, the end of this cycle of self-limiting behavior and self-limiting thought patterns. I think the ending that we're resisting is letting ourselves be free, releasing ourselves so that we can be free from our own mental blockages, from our own thoughts. I think so often we are prisoners to our own minds and we trap ourselves in these thoughts and we just can't get out. Where we limit ourselves because we tell ourselves we can't. And we blame it on outside circumstances. But I just think that there's so much that we can do as people that is, all it takes is courage and optimism. And I know that's really reductionary to like say something like that, because I know that everybody's circumstances are really wildly different. And everybody is in different situations with different limitations. But I think so often the culprit of what's holding us back is ourselves. And I think a lot of us are resisting this ending, resisting this release. And it has a lot to do with like we feel really guarded and like not ready to let go. We feel not ready to just like release this and move on and let our guard down again. Like I feel like we've been so blocked up and like hesitant to do anything because we're so afraid of yet another opportunity falling through. We don't want to feel that disappointment again. It sucks and we don't want to feel that again. And it's like because of that we have our guard up and we're resisting this ending in which we can feel this great sense of relief from the release. I'm going to title it that, Relief from the Release. I love that. So yeah, I think that there's an ending of some sort that we're resisting, an old part of ourselves that we're resisting to let die. I think what we have to let die is the disappointment. We have to let die the self-restriction. We have to let die the not allowing ourselves to feel. I think what the death process that needs to happen is maybe just releasing all the feelings and finally letting ourselves feel all the terrible emotions. I know that sucks, but it's so important and it's so healthy sometimes to just let yourself feel. If you just need to have a good cry, do it. Do it. Watch a really sad movie that'll get you going and will trigger you, and then just cry. Just let it out. It can feel so good and so powerful because it can really hold us back and block us from accessing our own mental capability and our own mental capacity. I think there's just so much that's like pent up and needs to be just released and let go of. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to pull one more card. Just see if there's any other messages here for the collective. Any other messages here for the collective? Any other messages here for the collective? Hey, Mandy. The Magician. Ah, beautiful. So beautiful. The Magician is about believing in yourself and your power and your ability to bring in and manifest anything it is that you want. It's like this new, it's the first card in the deck. It's this new, fresh energy of mental clarity and like really stepping into your power and understanding that you have the power and the control to bring about any reality that you want to manifest into existence. The Magician is like, we have the power within ourselves. We have all the tools we need. We have all the resources we need. We just need to open our eyes and look at things differently and understand that things have shifted and now there's a new set of opportunities, a new set of resources, not a bad set of resources now that things are different and things have shifted. It's like things have shifted and a lot of people look at it like, okay, well now look at my options. All my options are shit. No, you just have different options now. Do you know what I mean? You have different resources now. You have different opportunities at your disposal. The Magician is really about stepping into this energy of I can, I am able, I am capable, I am powerful. I can bring in anything that I want, anything I desire, anything that I envision. And I think this is such a beautiful card in opposition to this mental blockage. I think this Magician is going to be such a mental clarity that's going to make you feel so fresh and new. It's going to feel like release. It's going to feel like relief. It's going to feel like I can do anything. It's like turning this whole situation into something so positive. Like, okay, look at these circumstances. What can I do with it? It's getting creative and seeing what are the possibilities, what are the opportunities that I can create from this? What can I take from this and turn it into something beautiful? It's this fresh new energy. It's at a whole new beginning. It's at the start. It's at a new fresh start. I'm going to leave it at that. That's beautiful. I did want to bring in the music oracles though. I've pulled this out before in a couple collective readings. But I always forget that I have this, which I feel bad about. But this was a gift that I got from one of my roommates. She knows me so well. They are oracle cards, but they're for famous musicians, and they are really cool. And I thought that it would be a nice thing to pull out and throw at the end of a collective reading, or maybe I'll even start using them for the monthly readings for each sign. But I really love these cards. They're really cool and they're really beautifully illustrated. This is by, who is it by? It's written by Stephen Ellick and illustrated by Timba Smits. If y'all are interested, it's called Music Oracles. Any other cards for this spread? Any other messages for the collective regarding this spread? One card for this spread. Any other messages for the collective? Janis Joplin, I love it. Oh, I love this. First of all, illustrations, absolutely gorgeous. Janis Joplin, evolve but don't compromise. You're all you've got. The power of love must replace the love of power. You are far greater than the sum of your fears. This is so beautiful. I love this. Really step into your power. You are all you have. Do not compromise. Keep evolving. Use this situation as an opportunity to evolve, to adapt to the new circumstances. And you're really all you've got. It's like if you keep yourself stuck in this mental pattern, you're the only one to blame. If you release yourself from this mental pattern, you're the only one that can really do that for you. It's like all you have is yourself. So use your power. Use your power. You can do so much when you believe in yourself and you release yourself from these negative thought patterns. The power of love must replace the love of power. Well, of course. Love and optimism and hope will really help you move on from this and see the beauty in this situation and really see the reasons that a lot of these things happened. I think for a long time you've been stuck in this feeling so bitter about this and feeling really the weight of the disappointment. But when you really look at it from a perspective of love, you can really start to look at things differently. And you are far greater than the sum of your fears. Whatever it is that's holding you back, whatever it is that is making you fearful, You're so much greater than that. You are so much more powerful than that. You are so much greater than the circumstances that may restrict you. Or maybe it's just in your mind you're telling yourself you're restricted. There is so much more that you can do with all of these opportunities. I'm going to leave it at that, collective. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. I really loved this reading. This was beautiful. I really love doing collective readings. I really love tapping into the collective energy. If you liked this reading, if this resonated with you in any way, please feel free to leave comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. In my description box, you can find my email. If you'd like to reach out to me to schedule a personal reading, please feel free to do so. Also in my description box, you can find my Instagram. Feel free to give me a follow. You can also find my friend Bree's Instagram. She designed the art for this channel. So if you want to give her a follow, feel free to check out her page to see what she's working on. Also in my description box, you can find a couple different links to a couple different Spotify playlists. My September 2020 Spotify playlist is in there. It is up. It is messy. There is a lot going on. There are a lot of albums in there. I usually put a lot of albums in my monthly playlist. It's just that there is so much good music that is constantly coming out. I have so many people recommending me things, and there's just so much that I want to get to. So I think the playlist, I think last time I checked it was like 16 hours worth of music, but that will definitely get me through this month. So if you're interested in any of those playlists, if you're looking to find some new music, if you're curious about what I listen to, feel free to check those out. And collective, thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate all the love that you guys gave me to this channel and to my Instagram page. Thank you so much for all the likes and shares and subscribes. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this message. Keep your eye out for the October readings. Those will be coming out very soon. And I will see you in the next reading. Thank you for watching.